I am a neurosurgeon by training. I head the telemedicine division of Apollo Hospitals. In the next 45 minutes or so, I will try to convince every one of you that you and you alone can provide health care, in your case in Jammu and Kashmir, but in other places in the respective states. Unfortunately, out of the 1,300 million Indians, 780 of them live in towns and villages, not in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and so on. Perhaps this is not true today, but nevertheless, how can you provide effective and affordable health care, quality health care to everyone, anytime, anywhere? I work at Apollo Hospitals, Chennai. We get 100,000 patients every year. The Apollo Hospitals alone from 25 different countries for complicated surgical procedures and medical management. But what is the use? A solution is not a solution unless it is universally available everywhere. Wherever you go, this is what you find. In fact, 17 years ago when I got interested in telemedicine, I told Dr. Pratap Reddy, the founder of the hospital, that sir, if I succeed, Apollo Hospitals will have to close down. He laughingly said, okay, you try. 80% of patients who come to All India Institute, Apollo, Just Look, Hinduja, Fortis, Max, whatever it is, need not have come there at all. Whatever, something else came. Okay, sorry. Go back. Okay, the word impossible exists only in a dictionary. And I think the CSCs have shown in the last 10-12 years that nothing is impossible. The word unable does not exist in our dictionary at all. There is a gross disparity in the availability of health care. As you can see here, urban-rural health divide. 80% of India's doctors cater only to 20% of India's population. And at the same time, last month, TRAI announced that we have crossed the 1 billion mark. Today we have 1 billion mobile phones, out of which almost 35% are smartphones. I dream of the day when we are ready for a hospital which has no patients at all. And I'm sure this is going to happen in my lifetime. We will have a hospital where there will be 100 doctors, nurses, paramedical people all sitting in front of big monitors like this, and they will be treating thousands of patients across anywhere, not only in India but even outside India. This is what is going to happen in the future. Now, how can we achieve all this? Lack of organized delivery, patient safety, standards, lack of skilled workforce. The aim is equitable, sustainable, quality healthcare for 1 billion people. The only answer is technology-driven healthcare transformation. In fact, the word transformation should be replaced by revolution. We cannot have an incremental growth. We say the inflation index is 7%, 8%, therefore my salary increases by 8%. We can never ever grow like that. We have to increase 2x or 3x times. 20% of the world's diseases are in India. We have got only 1 gold medal, 1 bronze, 2 silver medals in the Olympics. But we are the world's leaders so far as blindness is concerned, so far as cervical cancer is concerned, so far as many other conditions are concerned. Again, as per World Health Organization statistics, we have a long way to go to achieve the minimum, absolute minimum healthcare human resources. The government has totally changed all its concepts in the last 2-3 years. They have increased the retirement age of doctors. Today, I can be a teacher in a private medical college and I'm 70 years old. We have 430 medical colleges. 150 medical colleges were started in the last 10 years. In spite of all this, we will never ever have enough brick and mortar hospitals, etc. I did a study which was published in a journal in February 2015. This is solid scientific data. Just look at this slide. 935 million people, 3 times the size of the United States, 1.5 times the size of all of Europe, live in India in places where there is not a single neurologist or neurosurgeon. I analyzed the membership of the Neurological Society of India, the Indian Academy of Neurology, and proved that there is not a single neurologist or neurosurgeon who live in places where 980 million people live. Now, just because I live in a village, just because I live in a small town, does it mean that I do not that I will never develop a brain tumor? Does it mean that I won't get convulsions? Does it mean that I don't require specialist and super specialist care? Not at all. Just like this, the numbers may be slightly different, but nevertheless, whether it is cardiology, oncology, immunology, today there are about 110 specialties. None of these specialists will be living in places where there are small areas like this. I got interested in telemedicine as early as 1998, but it took a long time, and I'm delighted that at last, in the last 1 to 2 years, there has been a tremendous growth in telemedicine. It was on March 25th, 2000 that Bill Clinton, when he was the president of the US, on his first visit to India, formally commissioned the world's first VSAT-enabled village hospital in Aragonda, which happens to be the birthplace of Dr. Pratap Reddy, the founder of Apollo Hospitals. 16 years have passed by. Last year, the Indian Medical Association, which incidentally is the world's largest single professional body with almost 200,000 members, declared March 24th as National Telemedicine Day. If you come to my department, this is what you will find. On any given day, you will find we are doing about 80 to 100 consultations, not in the villages. We are doing it in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. So far, we have done about 97,000 super specialty teleconsultations. This is from abroad. We also have 17 centers in different parts of the world. Here you can see Afghanistan, Colombo, Maldives, etc. This is a patient whom I treated, having made the entire diagnosis through telemedicine. This is a nurse from Tanzania who came to Muscat. She has multiple tumors in the brain. Actually, she had 17 tumors in the brain. I did a teleconsultation, examined her neurologically, discussed everything with her. From the airport, she came straight to the Apollo Specialty Hospital, was treated with what is called robotic radiosurgery. 4 of these tumors were treated, and then she was sent back. It is now 7 years since this has happened. She is still doing well. It is so simple. It takes 3 minutes of my time, or any neurologist, neurosurgeon's time. 3 minutes it takes, because I am trained, I know what to look for, I know how to do it. Look here, this is again in 2002. You can see this photograph was taken in 2002. That is why we have the old TV monitors. I'm making the patient look to the left, look to the right, look up, look down, etc. And I can do a detailed neurological examination. Dermatology is the simplest. Personally, I think it's a crime. If I had the powers, I would send them to jail. To make patients travel 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, 500 kilometers to see a dermatologist. It takes 40 seconds. I'm sure every one of you here probably have a smartphone. Even if you don't have a smartphone, an old phone, all you require is to take the camera, take a photograph, and then send the picture along with 3 lines. 45 years old, he's taking this drug, that thing, this thing, etc. It takes a dermatologist 2 minutes. 100 seconds it takes a proper dermatologist to make a diagnosis, and another 2 minutes to tell you what is to be done. Why do we need to send these patients to all these places? I could give you thousands of examples. I have personally treated I've given about 1,800 teleconsultations in neurology and neurosurgery. This is one of my favorite slides. This patient was deeply comatose, unconscious in Port Blair, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. I don't know whether, are there any CSCs in Port Blair? In Andaman and Nicobar Islands? I don't know. So this was done long ago. And there was a technician who had listened to a lecture which I had given. He called me to my house and said, "Sir, there is no doctor here. The CT scan is there. It's a government hospital. I have done a CT scan and this is what you are talking of telemedicine." I said, "Okay, you have a mobile phone?" He said, "Yes." This was several years ago. I said, "Just you have a video on that phone?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Just focus the eyes." I told him of what to do, how to focus the camera. All I wanted to see whether the pupil was constricting or dilating. And I told him to scan the pictures and send it to me. The CT scan shows a small injury to the brain. 6 minutes of my time to make a diagnosis, tell him what to do, and start the treatment from my house. There was an MBBS doctor there. I told the MBBS doctor, do this, followed it up once in 2 days. 10 days later, we discharged him. Imagine an unconscious patient in Port Blair. He has to come all the way to India. Though Port Blair, Andaman is a part of India, he has to come by ship, he has to come by air. How expensive it would be, how difficult it would be. Again, in any big hospital, whether it's a government hospital or a private hospital, I don't have exact statistics, but I guess at least 20% of patients come from towns. May not be villages, but they could definitely come from very, very small towns. I think it's criminal today to make the parents and grandparents of this child who has already undergone a complex open heart surgery. This particular child was from Mizoram. Imagine how difficult it is to come from Mizoram to Chennai for a follow-up. And obviously this baby cannot come on its own. Parents, grandparents, 2-3 people coming, 2 days to come, 2 days to go, wait for 1 day to get an appointment, etc. Why? Because the cardiac surgeon wanted to see the scar of this patient. Why should this happen? Why can't we just focus a camera, send the details, that operated on such and such a day, this was the procedure, and so on and so forth. Today, I have taught patients to put a stethoscope on their own chest. You do not require a professor of cardiology from All India Institute to put a stethoscope. You require a doctor to hear the sounds. But every one of you, in 2 days, can all be trained to put a stethoscope, to take an ECG, to do that, to do this, etc., to facilitate all this. It's going to be impossible, and it's not necessary to have a doctor at the other end. Now, if you can do this, now here is a patient. These are all, of course, a little specialized software which today is easily available. Just see what is happening. Somebody has got tonsillitis, somebody has got a problem with the throat. Now, from France, they are sending it to the United States. If they can send this from France to United States, why can't you send it from Srinagar and Jammu and other places to Delhi or Bombay or Chennai or wherever you want, etc.? It is so ridiculously simple. You don't require a professor to do all these things. All you have to do is to open the mouth of the patient, put this camera here, and I sitting in wherever I am, as I'm talking to you now, if I get a call, I can tell you, hold on for a minute, I can look at my phone and I can, with Google Voice, I don't even have to type anything, I just tell what is to be done, what instructions should be given, and in 2 minutes the whole entire transaction is over. Real-time throat examination, ear examination. I'm sure it's extremely difficult, not only in a village, even in a small town, to examine the inside of the ear, and an ENT surgeon has to see it, or at least an MBBS may not be enough. So again, it takes 2 to 3 minutes to put this device. An ordinary phone, you have to put an extra attachment to that to magnify it, etc. An ordinary phone, you can send it, and the doctor at the other end will be able to see it. WhatsApp. All of you use WhatsApp? Everybody, they're all familiar with WhatsApp. I don't know how many zeros there are. I have no idea, I can't count. Probably it is 10 billion. This is the number of WhatsApp which has been done up to February 2016. There's one data which said every second there are probably about 25,000 WhatsApp images are sent every second in India alone. Now, why can't, instead of just talking about jokes and instead of talking of that and this, why can't we use even this? Proprietary, free, instant messaging allows text, image, video, audio messages, one-to-one communication, or one-to-many group chats. You can make groups, you know all about this. So you make groups, you can ensure that the picture is sent to 3 ENT surgeons, etc. Now all this is used in Africa. This is used in the most backward countries in Africa. We are at least 25 years ahead of these countries. Just look at them. How beautiful. This is, I get more details on this than if the patient was in front of me. Because with this technology today, I can change the color, I can make it darker, I can make it whiter, I can zoom in. All the simple software is available. I can concentrate on this particular portion here. And most important, after the patient goes away, I suddenly remember, oh my God, I didn't look at that part. Patient is already gone. All I have to do is to retrieve the picture, look at the picture again and see what it is. Good morning, doctor. Can I disturb you? I have an 11-week-old child. His rash started 2 weeks ago, spread to the face last week, attached to the photos. Is this seborrheic dermatitis? This is what an MBBS doctor is sending a WhatsApp message to a dermatologist and finding out from a dermatologist. So these are all things which are done in other countries. Why can't we do? This is a small... Sorry, how do you play this video? Oh, there's a video here, sorry. See if you can play it. Or go directly to it. Open the folder. See, that's why I wanted to use my laptop with all these software things. Okay, just play this directly. Okay, doesn't matter, just go ahead. It's okay, I'm sorry, there's some technical problem here. That's why I always like to use my laptop. Go back to the PowerPoint. This was the video which should have shown you one of the consultations which I do routinely. This was from my house. No, put it on, straight. This was another patient with a large clot on both sides. Go to slide number. Go back, what is the problem? Do a small story. It's not a story what we're actually doing. And I want to convince you that if I can provide health care at 14,000 feet height in the Himalayas, when the temperature is minus 20 degrees in winter, we have done this for 18 months now through a public-private partnership with the government of Himachal Pradesh, and we are actually just 10 miles away from China. This is in Kaza and Keelong, 2 places in a district called Lahul and Spiti. So I've been there 3 times. The first time I went 18 months ago. You can see the world's highest motorable road, the world's highest post office. India is fantastic in that. Everything we are the highest. And you can see all this. And this is how we went. You can imagine, just imagine a sick patient having to come to Shimla through this road. It takes 20 hours to 24 hours to travel 150 kilometers. And during winter there are landslides that you cannot even come. The government was trying to use helicopters for helicopter evacuation. At least 15 people die every year purely because there were no medical facilities available. So we took up this as a challenge and we told the government, give us an opportunity and we will do it. And this is what actually happened. So what we did, we brought all of them to Madras. 15 people we selected. This was outsourced to us completely. So we told the government that we cannot manage the government employees because I want them to be my employees. I pay them a salary. If they do well, I give them an incentive, I give them a promotion. If they do badly, I fire them, which I can't do in government service. So we brought 15 of them to Chennai, kept them here for 3 months, trained them completely. We didn't train them in clinical medicine alone. We trained them in how to communicate with people, how to operate a video conferencing camera. And believe me, it was for me my first experience. I thought I was going to another state. But honestly, I thought I was going to another planet. Because people there have absolutely no idea of what happens. But we got them, and I have a wonderful team. So with that team, we were able to do this. So this is what we did. This was on my 3rd visit to the same place. I have a wonderful colleague called Premanand and his team. So all of us were there. These are all managers with a master's degree in computer applications. Then you can just say, we do not take no for an answer. So the Innova car in which we went, we were told there are landslides, rocks have come, sorry, you cannot go, you have to return back. I said, nothing doing, I come all this way here. And my staff completely supported me. So we got down, we got it, we cleared everything, we still did. Then we held 2 camps there, physical camps. We had more than 384 people who came to these camps. Now, this is where you play a very, very major role. So we employed 4 people, we called them coordinators, and these coordinators went house to house. The district has 24,000 people. We documented every single visit. We visited every single house in that district, told them that a service like this is available. All this was documented, available for anyone to see. Of course, the government is extremely cooperative. I have to publicly acknowledge Mr. Vineet Chaudhary, Additional Chief Secretary. So I went to him with a complaint. I said, sir, we don't have that, we don't have this. How do you expect me to treat patients? He said, what do you want? I said, I want laboratory services. Without urea and creatinine, I can't treat a patient. And then within 3 weeks, the necessary money was sanctioned, and today we are able to do 22 blood tests. 22 blood tests, cholesterol, lipid profile, kidney function test, liver function test, cardiac, enzymes, etc., etc., with a drop of blood which is put in, like you can see in this photograph, like a memory stick here. It is expensive, but the costs are going to come down. We were lucky, we persuaded a company to give us the equipment free of cost. The government is reimbursing the actual expenses which have been spent. Now, sir, what I would like the CSC to do is not stop with this point of care diagnostics. We had a major international conference yesterday and day before yesterday, and I got permission to use this slide yesterday evening, late in the evening. This is a fantastic kit which can test malaria, dengue, chikungunya, and various other fevers from a scientific point of view. All I require is 2 drops of blood. Gone are the days where you require a trained technician to put a syringe and needle and take out a sample of blood. Even a 3rd standard school dropout can be taught how to take a pin and then take a drop of blood and put it inside that. Very soon, this will come to India, the cost will go down. Just imagine if 1 in 10 CSCs had this equipment. I would like to call it a super CSC, 1 in 10 or 1 in 12 or whatever it is. We get this equipment there. Somebody doesn't have to travel for an infection, something, just 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers, and they get the world's most advanced, most scientific study which will tell you whether you've got malaria, dengue, chikungunya, jaundice, that, this, etc., etc. So this is the modern world. You have to be proactive. At the best, people like us can help you, can handhold you, can guide you, can support you. Dr. Tyagi can give all the administrative sanctions, he can sanction the funds, we can help. But at the end of the day, it is you and you alone who can make a difference, not Dr. Tyagi, not Apollo Hospital, not me. Now here is what our people did. They went house to house with this equipment. I just didn't have time to correct this slide, but now you can add 1 before the 6. We have now screened 1,600 people. We went house to house and we said, show us your finger. And we picked up almost 15% had significant anemia. This is modern medicine. Modern medicine is not diagnosis and treatment. A big corporate hospital like Apollo has realized that from a commercial point of view, from a business point of view, you will make much more money keeping people healthy rather than treating the sick. I foresee that in 10 years from now, your open heart surgery will come down, that will come down, this will come down, because we are going to keep people healthy and make it a business. Now here is a typical example. We diagnosed anemia, we diagnosed so many conditions. If we can do this, now September 25th, just 2 weeks ago, 4,000, now it's reached 5,000. 5,000 patients we have treated at a height of 14,000 feet in the last 18 months. Every one of them is documented, electronic medical records. I can get all the information that I require. Now here is an example which could happen in a CSC. We prevented a major epidemic, outbreak of a major epidemic. My dermatologist said, look, I'm not happy with these 2 monks from the monastery. They are coming. It could be something serious. I would like to screen everybody. We asked the government for permission. We went to the monasteries. My staff went there and we picked up 32 children who did not know that they had a fungal scalp infection. And then all that we did was shave their heads. That's all that we did. 32 children, we shaved their heads. We picked up a fungal infection. We got samples from a company and we prevented a major epidemic from making out. I just told this the last 15 minutes to give you an idea of what is happening. The next 15-20 minutes, I'm going to concentrate on CSCs. I'm going to show you practically. I'm not interested in giving a big theoretical talk. I'm going to tell you how you and you alone can make a difference. Again, thank you, sir, for giving us this opportunity. August 25th, 2015. Personally, I'm very frustrated, but I'm still confident that meetings like this, it's difficult. We are trying to change an entire concept. It's extremely difficult to do it, but I'm very optimistic we're actually able to do it. So this was how it started on August 5th, 2015. Now, telehealth and telemedicine, training and retraining, attitudinal change, workshops, continued process of training. Technology is not the major problem. Even finances is not the major problem. We can get all these equipment, and I'm absolutely confident, publicly I'll state this, we can get you hundreds of doctors who will be in front of a screen 24 hours a day. But the problem is to get the patients to come to your VLE center. And what are these problems? You can see here, multilingual consultation requirements. I am now talking in English. Thoda Hindi में भी मैं बोल सकता, तमिल नन्ना पेशवे, मागु तेलुगुलो माట్లాడునుంది. We have enough doctors who can communicate in various languages, so that is not a problem. Now, here you can see. Now let's go back. I want to share with you our failures, because understanding your failures is the first stepping stone to make it a success. So I think this is very important, and I'm not ashamed at all of telling our failures. Incidentally, the Apollo hospitals have spent almost 1 crore, which is a huge amount, particularly for a private company who normally does heart transplants and bone marrow transplants. We spent as much as 1 crore, and we have put at least about 40-50 people on this job. But we are very, very disappointed with the results. But we are not giving up. We certainly are not giving up. In fact, tomorrow morning, I am taking a professor from South Africa and another professor who has come for this conference from Canada. They are so excited about this. So I am going with them. I am going to visit 12 CSCs in Tiruvannamalai, which is about 5 hours away from the city of Chennai. We are going to see, which I have not done this before. So I am going to visit about 8 to 10 CSCs, spend 1.5 days there and try to understand what exactly is the problem, why is it not succeeding. Now we set up a telemedicine center in Ajmer in a CSC teleclinic. We provided all the equipment, but it was a miserable failure for various reasons. Maybe we miscalculated. Of course, we had a very bad experience. The person whom we employed as an optometrist, he just disappeared one fine day. So these are things which happen. Now here again you can see this is the teleophthalmology problem which we had. Now I'll just show you what. Now the other reason why I have come here is to take your advice. Now you can do this. I think we did a really good job. Every one of this is documented. We chose 2 districts at a very approximate level. We would have covered at least 40-50 CSCs, at least 300,000 people in that drainage area would have been made aware of what is telemedicine, what is telehealth, how do we, what is remote healthcare and so on. We went from village to village, used all the modern technology, took classes, communicated with them, etc. But somehow it has really not taken off. Now, to me it was a pleasure, instead of seeing Indraprastha Apollo with its huge things, it was a pleasure for me to see Apollo Teleclinic here. So this is what is one thing. Here again you can see several service centers, etc. which are formed. So this was just to demonstrate to you that we did spend a lot of effort and time doing this. So we had to find out what it is, etc. Now, again, I was delighted that the CSC is spending a lot of in their website. Every now and then we find health quizzes, etc. This was a neurological, I have given about 8 or 10 neurological consultations to CSCs. This was one such instance. And now I just want to spend 2 minutes on this. I went to Nagpur, some villages in Nagpur about 6 days ago. Now this is what I presume you see everywhere. There's a board here. This gentleman claims to be a doctor, and he's been practicing there for 40 years. So this is Premanand, who's my colleague. We both of us went. So we just looked at the medicines. And to my horror, I found the expiry date was 4 years, since the medicine should not have been used. It will be a drug which expired 4 years ago has been used. So these are the problems which we are having. And here again you can see in front of me that this is a lady who had convulsions in front of me, but I was helpless. I couldn't do anything at all. Now, doctors like me are frustrated in giving teleconsultations because we don't follow it up. What is the point in my making a brilliant diagnosis if I'm not able to give medicines? So this is a fantastic step having it, and this is for lack of time, I'm not playing the video, but I saw this video in a CSA WhatsApp, and I really congratulate the person who made it. Now, just look at this. The secretary had mentioned this in the speech about an hour ago. This is where India is today. Mobile internet is taken over the landed internet. And yesterday we had the joint controller of drugs, Government of India, as one of our guests who gave a talk yesterday. He assured me, Dr. Ishwara Reddy, he said all these are going on, and within a year all so-called grey areas. Can you dispense medicine? Do you require a qualified pharmacist? What is the legality of online transmission and so on? So he says people are working at it. Maybe within a year, lot of things which are now not very clear will come. Again, promoting health literacy. I think this is very, very important. And CSCs are a fantastic way. We will be happy to give at least once a week. I'm very confident I can get doctors who will talk on excellent topics. But I need your help. I need people from the village to come and assemble at your respective CSCs. And even if you get me 30, 40 people in one CSC, we can address 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 at the same time. I've been doing this to villages with the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. Twice a month I give these talks. We have about 12 to 15 villages participating on this. This was to, again I think this was to one of the CSCs. We've done a few. If there's no time, I won't show these videos. Now, we have done all this in great detail, a process flow, SOPs, every single thing. We have found out who is to do what, where. I think all these are streamlined. Right now, our problem is the patients are just not coming, that is all. And here again, you can see. Now, the people outside the country are recognizing us. This is what I think is a paradox. Columbia University came, and then they sent 4 people who went all the way to Tiruvannamalai, made this, and as the secretary mentioned an hour ago or half an hour ago, we were also, Apollo telemedicine was used as to illustrate 3 global best practices, and this was used as a case study, out of which about 5-7 minutes they spent for the CSC also as a case study. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the world we are living in. Please do not think of 1960, 1980, think of 2025. Yesterday in Chennai, Dr. K Ramachandra, director of the National Research Development Forum in Bangalore, he showed me this slide. He showed us this slide, and he said we are working on this, and we hope that within a year this will be a reality. Where in the world, to the best of my knowledge, nowhere in the world have they planning to use a drone to take a heart. Organ transplants now have become very good. Tamil Nadu is a leader. Chennai is a leader in the country. Today, and I'm sure in my lifetime is going to happen. In another 1 year, 2 years is going to happen. We not only take out a heart for a heart transplant, the patient is 100 miles away, 80 miles away, 200 miles away. Is extremely difficult. The life of a heart outside the human body is only 3 hours. But what are we doing? What are Indians doing? We are trying to keep a so-called dead heart. We are trying to keep it alive for 12 hours, 18 hours, so that the heart transplant can still be done. How are we doing this? by simulating what God has given us, by ensuring there is adequate oxygen, and ensuring various other things. This device is now being made, and just imagine a drone, no human being, no traffic jams, no roads, nothing. We just put a drone which will carry the 6-7 kilos and it will go to one place. This is the world we are living in. So this is the learn. I feel very sad that we are not really making use of all this. I'll conclude with this. I mean, I had many more, but for lack of time, I'm stopping. I just want to conclude with this. It has taken us 1.5 years to come to this stage, but now we have the course content ready, we have the faculty ready, we have got informal approvals from the National Skill Development Council of India. We have to get the formalities ready. It's entirely, of course, sir, we depend on you completely, Dr. Tyagi and his team, and all of you. Nobody taught me telemedicine in 1998. In 2017, another 3 months will be 2017, I think it is wrong for each of us to call ourselves telemedicine specialists. So we have drafted a course content, 500 hours is the total course. We can reduce it to 450 or 475, that's not important. And this will be delivered online. 5 days, you will have to be physically present in one of our hospitals. At the moment, Hyderabad, Chennai. You can make it Delhi if it is convenient for you. Or the faculty can come to Jammu and Srinagar. Even that is not a problem. 3 or 4 of us will come there, spend 4 or 5 days, teach you exactly what is happening. And I would once again request all of you, we'll put all this in the website. Please do enroll in. So challenges are what make life interesting. But overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. And I think we'll be doing a disservice to our children and grandchildren if we don't exploit the availability of information and communication technology. Thank you very much.